Hello, parents and educators. My name is Ebony Tyler, and I am the founder of Liberated Success. We are a youth career development organization. So thank you so much for clicking this video to learn about how to make a liberated career choice. You're probably wondering, why am I qualified to deliver this workshop to you today? So I have over 20 years of experience in working in public education, where I worked with young adults in creating internships and providing career counseling services and coaching educators and building capacity around youth career development. And I was inspired to create Liberated Success so that students and families will have the resources and the tools they need to make a liberated and informed choice. Most of my work has been in supporting students with disabilities. By law, students with disabilities must have a transition plan. And according to New York State Education Department, a successful transition process is based on the student's strengths, preferences, and interests, and requires collaboration between the school district, the student, the family, and community agencies. And transition planning and services are designed to prepare a student with a disability to achieve his or her post-secondary goals related to living, learning, and earning within the community. Now, doesn't this process sound applicable for all students? So how do we use this model to support our students in their transition to adulthood? So most of the information that I will be sharing with you today is about learning, which equals education, and earning, which equals employment. So take a few seconds and think about who you were when you were 16. Did you have it all together? Did you know what you wanted to be when you grew up? What did you want to do with your life? So throughout this video, I'll be sharing some stories from the Liberated Success community, and they will be sharing their career journey as it relates to the topic we are discussing. So let's hear from a few of the members of our community sharing who they were at 16.
Oh my God, Ebony, my 16-year-old self. So when I saw this question, I was like, I don't remember, but I realized it's more like I didn't want to remember my 16, 17, 18-year-old self. And specifically in regards to like finding a career and what I'm going to do in my future. That was nowhere on my radar at 16, 17, and 18, to be honest with you. When I went to Midwood High School, it was about cutting class, being with my boyfriend. I barely graduated. SATs were horrible. Mm-hmm. I wasn't even trying to look at my future at all.
A 16-year-old Valerie was very shy. I was a follower. I was not a leader. I was very insecure, although you wouldn't know it. I just had a lot of self-doubt, and I wasn't comfortable in my body. I was very skinny. I wanted to have curves, so I always felt a little out of place. I had a weak eye muscle. And that had me feeling really uncomfortable about myself. The people that I grew up with, like, were kind, but people, if they met, first, young kids, so I dealt with a lot of teasing and all of that. And it was tough. I was getting high, hanging out. I did not have a strong sense of myself.
My 16-year-old self was a self-proclaimed band geek at the time. Grew up in Brooklyn, but I played the flute majority of my life. I've been playing since elementary school, so I was in all the bands, everything. At 16, I was in the New York All-City Marching Band, the All-City Jazz Band. Everything I could be in, I was in. I even played with Kingsborough College Band while I was in high school. So I was that band geek. Yeah, so my dream at that time was to go to HBCU and be the first female band director at HBCU. That was my dream back then.
So our forever First Lady, Michelle Obama, says we should never ask kids what they want to be when they grow up, because adulthood is not finite. And I totally agree with her. We should explore what our kids are interested in, what their strengths are as it relates to future careers. So how do we do this? Exposure and experiences. And so you remember that I had stated that New York State Education Department stated that goals should be related to living, learning, and earning. And everything we talk about in this webinar is going to be related to learning, which is education, and earning. I did want to spend some time and talk about independent living skills, but it was just getting too long. So I do apologize for that. So when considering education, we should look at our children's interest. What do they like to do? How do they spend their free time? Do they create makeup TikToks? Do they take apart their computers and constantly buy parts on Amazon? Do they enjoy helping you prepare meals? Do they create their own meals? And if this is happening, and if your young person is in middle school, then this is a great opportunity for you to start researching the career and technical education schools. They're called CTE schools. So throughout this presentation, I'm going to be referring to the resource page, which is and the hyperlinks that are in the resource page. So the first hyperlink I want to bring to your attention is the 2020 High School Admissions Guide. On page 7 of the manual is where you can find information about CTE schools. Now, New York City's Department of Education has 135 CTE schools. These schools provide students with an opportunity to learn a trade and receive the CTE endorsed Regents diploma. CTE programs are categorized by the 16 vocational cluster areas. So when trying to match your child's interests to a CTE program, consider 16 vocational cluster areas. And there's a hyperlink to this cool graphic that connects the 16 vocational clusters to interest and careers. Now, what I like about this is that it takes the career cluster and then it asks the students a question and then it considers occupations. So what are the 16 career clusters? We have agriculture, food and natural resources, arts, audiovisual, technology and communications, business management, administration, architecture and construction, education and training, finance, health science, hospitality and tourism, human services, information technology, law, public safety and security, transportation, distribution and logistics, manufacturing, government and public administration, science, technology, engineering and mathematics, marketing, sales, and services. So you want to explore what the student likes to do and then look at the career cluster, because the career clusters are where they're going to give you suggested occupations. And this is just a small example of occupations in that particular career cluster. So you know what? Let's hear from a person from our community who attended a CTE school.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to Thomas Edison High School at the time, technical vocational off of Jamaica Avenue. And the program that I was under was electrical installation. I always knew I wanted to be an engineer or in the electrical industry. I just didn't know the work that was required to do it. And honestly, at 16 years old, I didn't have the focus to really stick with the program for engineering. I had to go the long way. And so, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Thomas Edison, that's one of those CTE schools that provide students with lots of vocational training.
Didn't know was the electrical engineering program started out with all math, and I hated math, right? And down the hall, I could hear people laughing and joking, and I hear tools banging, and I walk down there and I see the electrical installation class. They're wiring up doorbells, lights, different, simple circuits, and then working towards complex circuits, but they're doing the physical work, and you can actually see the work that you're doing firsthand. And so I dropped my engineering class so that I could be hands-on with the electrical installation class. And for me at the time, that's where my mind was. That's what my attention would allow. So again, depending on what type of person you are, that's how I would kind of answer that. If you're a hands-on person, then the vocational way is the way.
So the courses that Stuart described in the video are technical courses, and those courses are a graduation requirement of CTE schools that students complete 7 credits of technical courses and work-based learning experiences, which are internships. And this gives students a chance to learn by observing and participating in real work. Another component of the CTE schools is that they have a college partner, and it puts the students on a path for college and careers. And you can find out more about the CTE school programs on the hyperlink labeled CTE schools and programs. So perhaps you're a parent watching this video and your child is already in high school and they're thinking about what their life is going to look like post-high school. So first, I just want to say that it's okay if students don't know what they want to do, but they should have some type of idea about who they are, what they like, and what they don't like as it relates to working, right? Like, do you mind standing on your feet all day? Do you mind doing remote repetitive tasks? Do you need to be around people? Do you need encouragement? Are you a person who can kind of like start a project and, ask for questions to kind of get the project done? Are you an independent thinker? Are you an independent worker? The students should really have some type of idea of how they work best, because that'll help aid and inform the type of work that they're looking for, or the type of careers that they want to go into. And so another program that the DOE offers for current high school students to learn a trade, and it's not specific to it's not a CTE school, is Co-op Tech. Now, I'm a big fan of Co-op Tech because it's a chance for current high school students to learn a trade. It's a great place for students who may be struggling in high school to kind of engage them a little bit more in the actual school process. And it's a great alternative pathway to graduation. It's also, and I think that a lot of people don't use this as a gap year experience. So it can be used for a student who has already graduated and want to learn a trade. And this gives them a chance to learn a trade, get some experience in a specific trade without the financial commitment. And I think a lot more of us need to start looking at gap year experiences, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but this is a great opportunity at the Co-op Tech. So what does Co-op Tech do? A Co-op Tech offers hands-on training, and the trainings that they offer are A+ certification, web design, Cisco networking, graphic design. Their building trade courses are building maintenance, electrical installation, carpentry program, electric solar welding, residential construction. Their healthcare careers are certified nursing assistant, office skills, medical billing and coding, medical office management, vision technology. And the service industry programs are automotive technician, culinary arts, barbering, and natural hairstyling. And all of these programs are open to students who are between 16 and 21. And Co-op Tech is free because it's a DOE program. Also, it's a great way for students to get their hands wet in some training and to see if this is really something that they want to do before they make the long-term financial commitment to maybe going to a vocational trade school or going to college, or going for an associate's degree in these particular areas. And it's an excellent way to get experience and then get some entry-level employment. So I really love Co-op Tech, and I think we need to take more advantage of co-op tech. And on the resource sheet, there's a hyperlink to co-op tech. So some ways students can explore their interests is by participating in an internship, getting a job, working in the summer, job shadowing, and volunteering. And these experiences may pique a student's interest to learn more and perhaps decide on a college major or attend a vocational trade school or pursue employment or to take a gap year. So an internship is a paid or non-paid opportunity where students work at an organization for a set amount of time and they gain work experience to satisfy an educational requirement. Sometimes that's the purpose of an internship, not just to gain the work experience. And as I mentioned at the CTE schools, work-based learning is a component of their high school requirements. So it's essentially an internship experience. Job shadowing. So job shadowing is an opportunity for students to learn about a career, and they get a chance to spend a day with a professional where they can learn about the day-to-day operations of a particular career. And now parents, you can set these opportunities up for your students with family and friends who have careers that your child may be interested in. And then they can report back to you about their experience. Volunteering. So volunteering is a short-term service to a community organization or possibly a school activity. And this allows students to give back, to learn about the good an organization does. And many human service organizations have a lot of volunteer opportunities for students. Gap years. I'm a big fan of gap years. Now, gap year is a chance for a young person to take a semester off. What they do is that they defer their college admission for a semester or two to learn in the real world. And according to the Gap Year Association, it's described as a semester or year of experiential learning that typically is taken after high school and prior to career or post-secondary education in order to deepen one's practical, professional, and personal awareness. Now, gap years are not very popular in our community, and they are often seen as something that affluent people participate in. But our children deserve time to explore, they deserve time to learn and to figure out what it is that they want to do. Now, parents, you can create your child's their own gap year experience, right? Like you can help them create that. And it's all about having a plan, right? Like, do you have a family member in another country that they can visit and maybe work? Is there perhaps an organization that they want to volunteer with? And maybe they want to do a paid internship. A paid internship can be considered part of a gap year experience, or volunteering, or finding a part-time job while they pursue some other passion that they're working on. And remember, gap years are about just deferring the college admission for a semester or two while they do some actual learning in the real world. And when I had talked about the co-op tech, you can use co-op tech as a gap year experience as well. So what are the benefits of internships, job shadowing, volunteering, and gap year experiences? So number one, students will gain valuable work experiences. 2, they get to explore career paths. 3, they get to develop soft skills. Now, soft skills are skills that make a student successful in any industry. It allows the students to develop a work ethic. It allows them to learn how to work in teams, how to be a collaborator, how to be open to receiving feedback, how to learn how to be dependable, learning how to adapt to a new environment, developing a growth mindset, practicing active listening skills, and building their emotional intelligence in the workplace. It also gives them a chance to earn money. They get a chance to network with professionals. Now, I like to tell my students that this is an opportunity for you to develop a relationship with an adult who's not your parent or teacher. And this is also for a chance for you to be around adults who actually don't have to be nice to you. They also get to build a student's confidence. The right experience can be transformative for students where they can blossom and find their purpose. And lastly, it can help them transition to employment. Now, many experiences can turn into an employment opportunity, and this gives employers an opportunity to observe students in the natural environment by observing their work skills, their work ethic, and to see if they're a good culture fit for an organization. So you know what? Let's hear from a member of our community who had a very impactful internship.
Moved to Savannah my senior year. One of my teachers said, "Hey, I want to see you after school." And I was like, "Uh-oh, what happened now?" And he said, "There's a congresswoman who represents the area. Her name is Cynthia McKinney. She used to be in Congress. She was the first woman and Black woman elected to Congress from Georgia. I'd never heard of it because I just moved there. And long story short, I got an internship because the teacher said, I think this might be good for you, something you seem like you'd be interested in this." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I am." So I went down there and I interviewed, and they said, "Yeah, the internship is so long, it's not paid, but this and this and this." And so I came home and I was so excited. And I was like, "Oh my God, I got this internship with a U.S. Congresswoman. Oh my goodness." And I was working my part-time job. And then my dad, I love him to death, but we always laugh about this story. My dad was like, "How much they paying you?" And I was like, "It's free." He was like, "Oh no." He was like, and I only tell this part of the story because it's so important. Right. He was like, "Oh no, free. Oh no, you don't want to work for free." So I did it anyway. And then when they found out I was graduating, going to Morehouse, she had an Atlanta office, which that was like 6 months later, and she ended up hiring me. Wow. And so when I went to Atlanta as a freshman, I already had a job working in a member of Congress office. And so I went to school, and then I would go there around 3 to like 6 and then do weekend stuff with them. And it was through working for the Congresswoman that I began to understand that you can change communities through not education, but not only education, through policy, through advocacy, and all of that. And it was like a whole new world opened up. And I was like, "Oh, okay, it's not just attorneys that help people. And in fact, that's not really what attorneys do, depending on the type of attorney." So it was more like someone seeing something in me and then leading me to an opportunity. And then thankfully I didn't listen to my dad, and then I started working for her, and then I stayed there for 6 or 7 years. So even after I graduated from Morehouse, I moved up, and then came to DC and did some stuff in her DC office and all that. So that's where that intersection came for me around policy and education and that kind of stuff. And I never went to law school because I realized it's really not what I wanted to do. It's what I thought I want. I thought it was the outlet to accomplish what I wanted to do, but I realized this was really more of the outlet for what I wanted.
So it was the experience that you had actually working and applying what you're learning at the same time that helps you make a decision.
Absolutely, you've got it.
So on the resource sheet, I've highlighted some organizations that offer internships, volunteer opportunities, and part-time employment opportunities for young people so that they get an opportunity to focus on their interests. And there's also a resource link to a spreadsheet of organizations that offer summer learning opportunities that focus on STEM, social justice, leadership, business, fashion, pre-college. The dates and the prices are from this year, 2020, but you can do some Googles and jump on their mailing list so that you can receive the opportunities for 2021. Now, a lot of these organizations, they cost. However, you should always reach out to organizations to ask if they have financial aid. I sign my kids up for stuff that I know that I cannot afford because they always have financial aid. And I send a nice little email and I always ask, is there money? Do you have financial aid opportunities? Because all these programs, they always need BIPOC kids. They always want them there. They want our brilliance. They want our excellence. So why not take advantage of it and have our kids in those spaces so that they can get some of that information as well. So College Now is another program that current high school students can participate in while they're still obviously in high school. So College Now is a free program that is a partnership between CUNY and the DOE. It allows students to earn college credits while still in high school. That's the big thing, is that they're earning college credits and they're participating in a college experience while still a high school student. So you see these young people are high school students, and they're on the CUNY College Now website. And so the program will allow the students to enter college with up to 15 credits. Now this fall, the classes are being taught online through BMCC, College of Staten Island, Hostos Community College, John Jay College of Criminal Justice, Kingsborough, and Queensborough. And some of the courses that they're offering are English 101, psychology, economics, personal finance management, speech, sociology, acting, psychology of personal adjustment, and the courses are after school or on the weekends. And I put in a hyperlink as well to the College Now. So an online tool that I like to use with students, some of my students, and when I'm doing career counseling, is Career Zone. Okay, now this is for them. This is, I usually give this to my students as a homework assignment. Okay, you're going to go on Career Zone, you're going to create a profile, and you're going to search what we talked about as your interests. Now, parents, this is not for you to sit down and work with them do this. These kids know how to use the computer. They know how to search things. So this is put together and it's designed for them. So let's do a quick search. Let me show you how easy it is and how user-friendly it is. So let's say our young person wants to be a nurse. Okay, so we're going to put in nurse. All right. But then it's going to break it down and it's going to come up with all these other types of nurses. Okay. Now, 28 different types of nurses, and these jobs are sunny, and basically means that they have a great outlook, right? There's lots of jobs. It's a bright outlook. There's lots of jobs in there. So let's go ahead and click nurse practitioner and see what they do. So what it does is that it's going to give you the occupation description. It's going to talk about the interests. It's going to talk about the work values, the tasks. Look at all these tasks, right? And this gives students a chance to really look and see, is this something that I can see myself doing? Okay, the duties, technology, is technology involved? Look at all of this, that technology that's involved in doing, to be a nurse, right? The skill level, active listening, reading comprehension, science, just breaks it down for them. The knowledge area, right? These are like the classes that you're going to have to take in, college. And then it lets them know the importance level. Like this stuff is really, really, important. The work contact, text, the work style, right? Education, how much education do I need, right? It's extensive, okay? Extensive skill and knowledge, all right? These occupations require graduate school. So it's going to let them know, okay, I'm going to get a bachelor's, but if I want to be a nurse practitioner, I know I'm going to have to get further education and go into a graduate school. And then the part that I really, really like is that it breaks it down and it tells you about the different nursing programs, and then you can go ahead and search for colleges. And this tool will give you a chance to look at colleges all across the country. Okay. And this is another, really, really great tool. And then they can break it down, go a little further, do a deeper search. Oh, I don't want to go home. I want to stay in New York. Okay. I'm going to stay home. Let's see what schools in New York offer nursing. Oh, CUNY. All right. I'm going to just take the train and go up to the Bronx every day. All right. And then it will link you and take you to CUNY's website and then breaks it down more, right? So this is just a really, really wonderful tool, and it's free and it's right there online. And another thing that I love about it is that the wages, right? It's going to tell you how much jobs are, the average wage salary, the average salary, right? It gives you job outlook, licensure, job openings. Yes, this website will link you to some jobs. So let's see if we can go all the way to the end and see. I was playing with this earlier and they had some 2020 jobs. It doesn't look like it has been updated since Corona. But anyway, it also gives you all of that information. So this is a really great tool for young people to really do some research about careers and college on their own. So you know what? Let's listen to some more members of our community telling us how they found their the college that they went to. Northeastern University.
Yeah, so I went to Northeastern, and when I went there, I think one, it wasn't the most welcoming place for Black students at the time. I don't know, I have no idea what it's like now. I hope now it's better. I believe that it could be and should be better now. But at the time when I got there, it wasn't the most welcoming place. And more than anything, I didn't choose the right school. I didn't have anybody who really understood how to do a college search in my life when I was in high school. So I thought I knew what I wanted, and I made this big commitment to go to Northeastern without looking at very many colleges. And so once I got there, the school was really big. It was, I think, 25,000 students when I got there. And I came from a relatively small school in high school. And so I just got lost a little bit until I found my people. And I didn't really know what major to be. I thought that I wanted to do one thing. And once I started doing it, I realized I didn't like it that much. And so all of these things were, it was hard. It was the first time in my life that I felt like I didn't have it all together. So that was really scary and really complicated. And in retrospect, I really wish somebody knew or had the I guess, skills in college searching to help me try out a few different schools. And I think that's why what you do, Ebony, is so important.
I was like a straight A student. I felt like to the outside eye, I had everything going on for me, but inside it was really hard because I didn't have a lot of other people, other Black folks. I have a twin sister, so I had her, but we didn't really hang out in high school. And yeah, so I'd say that.
And then did you go straight from high school to college? Because you went
to, absolutely. I was like, I'm getting the hell out of this little town. So I decided that I was going to go to this far off place called Virginia because I didn't pay attention in history class. What Black girl wants to go to Virginia? And I also thought it was beautiful and it's going to be warm all the time. It's the South, right? So I ended up at James Madison's University, as I would always say. JMU, as people from the area would say, that is in the Shenandoah Valley. And it snows there probably more than it snows in New Jersey at times. And I went there because I wanted to get away from snow. So yeah, I went right to college because I really just wanted to get out of my town and out of my house. I think, honestly, little Verda, who was a set of twins, where people made decisions about who I would be, who my sister would be from a really young age, is what shaped me in my subconscious, right? So I think it was always thinking about what my experience was and was not, being Black and being dark, right? Like, so there's this whole thing around that. And
are we going here?
Oh, we're going all the way in. And so I just always think about what would have helped me be more authentically Verda earlier. And I think that motivated me. To be frank, I had no idea what I wanted to do. Doing education was just like, okay, I majored in human communication in undergrad. I was not extremely challenged in college. I'm just gonna be really honest. I actually feel like, and that helped me to actually pursue other things. So I had gotten scholarships, and this is a God bless my mother moment. I had gotten full scholarship to Princeton, full scholarship to a couple of other places, Clark Atlanta, like a lot of places to run track. And I just didn't want to do it because at that, I knew that it was a profession at that point, like that it was going to be my life. So I said, I took a partial scholarship to go to JMU and I was going to figure it out. So I ran my first year and then I was like, I don't want that to be my life. And so I said, okay, I'm going to major in human communication, which what the hell is that even?
Finding the right college fit was no easy task pre-COVID, and it will be challenging during the Rona. So one way to research colleges are virtual college tours and virtual college fairs. So on the resource page, I have shared a list that was compiled by World Class College Counseling that has over 900 colleges in the United States, over 50 colleges in Canada, and 100 colleges in the UK with direct links to their virtual college tours and their YouTube page. Now, this is the page. It is amazing. I was online one day and I stumbled across this. So this is a perfect way for you to take a virtual college tour.
Welcome to Alaska Pacific University, an amazing place.
How cool is that?
And become. At APU, our classrooms are not always bounded by four walls.
So we have that resource for you. Thank you, sir. All right, so we have that. Also, Liberated Success, my company, we are a big supporter of HBCUs. We love HBCUs. So this summer, our intern compiled this list of all the HBCUs, and we shared a link to this too. So this is a Google Doc as well, and it will bring you to the HBCUs. All right, so our intern put that together for you, and that's another amazing resource that you have. And then it also has the apply links and the scholarship links. Now, there's also another tool that you can use, and I'm going to give you a link to that as well. It's not on this spreadsheet, but it's on the resource page, and it is for you to apply. Use one application, pay $20, and you can apply to the 56 HBCUs that are a partner of that organization in one application. So this saves you a lot of money. And if your child is anything like me and like I knew I wanted to go to a HBCU and I only applied to this common application, would have saved my parents so much money. Okay, another resource that we have is a scholarship list that our intern put together this summer, because who's going to pay for this, right? College is expensive. So we have a scholarship list here for you of over 100 scholarships that you can just go ahead and click the link, and it'll take you right to the scholarship program. And you can find out more about it and go ahead and apply to those scholarships. So those are just some resources that we want to just make sure that our community has, and that we are empowered to go and make liberated career choices and college choices. And another great resource that your child's school may suggest that they create a profile for is College Board. And we'll definitely put a link to that as well. Just a little bit on the CUNY system. The CUNY, and specifically as it relates to the community colleges, because the community colleges are great pipeline to careers. So the CUNY system has 11 senior colleges, 7 community colleges, 7 graduate honor and professional schools. And I'm a big fan of the CUNY community colleges. Students only have to have a 70 average to get in. The campuses tend to be smaller. They offer more support services, and a lot of the learning can be hands-on, and they can lead to careers. Now, support services at colleges, and especially at CUNY, that's a whole nother webinar, because they have a lot of supports to students. So the CUNY system also offers a flexible schedule, especially for students who may be juggling a job or pursuing some other passion. So also CUNY is super affordable. Really good hands-on program that they offer are film production, culinary, allied health. And they also offer programs that are certificate programs, so less amount of time, through their continuing education and workforce development departments. So let's hear from another member of our community who attended a CUNY community college.
To go home because I would cook a meal every night. And I was living with my ex-boyfriend at the time, and he had a lot of help in encouraging me to go to culinary school. He bought me my first knife set. He paid for my first demo class, and he was really, really encouraging in that sense. So he was just like, you should go to school for this. You could be really good at it. And I took his advice and I enrolled in culinary school.
What culinary school did you go to? Did you go to one of those
Uh,
fancy, expensive ones?
Not at all. No, no, no. I looked into going to those expensive ones, but like I said earlier, I had already spent $30,000 in my first year at St. John's, so couldn't do that. I actually went to Kingsborough Community College, and Kingsborough is it's a really good school in the sense that it's a 2-year degree, so you're not committed for this long 4-year run, but the culinary program was absolutely amazing. Like I loved every part of it, and because of my choice to go there, I ended up getting that James Beard scholarship because of the teachers there and the help that they gave me.
So that scholarship, okay, so you went to Kingsborough, you got an associate's degree in
Yes,
culinary arts.
yes.
And I recall being at Kingsborough for graduation, and I looked in the book and I saw that you graduated. I was like, wait, she's not even here.
Yeah,
and you were in Italy.
Yes. So because I had won the award, the program in Italy, which was actually another culinary school, was like an extension. So because I had won the award, I had to leave, I think 2 weeks before graduation. And so I didn't even finish my semester, but my teachers were so happy for me that they allowed me to do my finals and everything overseas. So
now let's say your student doesn't want to go to college, but they want to earn a trade. So just like the young lady in the video talking about Kingsborough Community College and how hands-on it was, you can actually get culinary training, a lot of the trades at a vocational school. Now, vocational schools offer students training that is career focused. People tend to think that these schools are less academic, but that's not true. Instead of taking English, math, history, students jump right into learning about their career field. And these programs tend to be short term. You can get a certificate or you can get an associate's degree. And areas of study can be health sciences, medical administration, the trades, personal services, IT, culinary, auto mechanic, HVAC technician, massage therapy, the gamut. It's a full range of programs that are offered through vocational trade schools. So this is the final video. Let's just hear from 2 members of our community who attended some vocational trade schools. Can you tell us a little bit about your training? You went to the Swedish Institute.
Yes, I did go to the Swedish Institute, and it was rigorous because it is a trade school. They really try to condense everything, which is something that people should know too, is that you need to be prepared for the level of work that they require from you. But if you want it, it's easy. You can do it. You know what I mean? And I did that working 40 hours a week. So if I could do it, y'all could do it. And I hated school, so and still to this day, y'all. But anyway, yeah, and it was really difficult. I mean, you had to learn bio, you had to learn physiology, anatomy, you had to learn basically how all the body systems work. You had to learn, of course, about muscles, but you had to learn all the deeper things. You had to learn about pathologies. So along with all these technical things that you had to learn, you also had to do practical work, which was, the teacher, massage therapist, they would teach you certain moves to do and how to work that. But you also had to learn another modality called shiatsu, which is a Japanese modality of pressure points. And so you had to learn the theory behind that and, and all the movements and stuff like that. So it's a really intensive course, but it's worth it in the amount of time that you have to do it. And at the end, you get an associate's degree, which I think is great.
Which was my next question. How long?
It was, for me, it ended up being 18. Was it 18 months? It ended up being a year and a half for my degree. But I think that they might have changed it since I graduated so long ago. So I believe it's a 2-year course.
Really dope. I want to be a makeup artist. So I enrolled in school, night school, while I worked at the bank during the day, and used to go to work in those we had these like metal train cases, and I used to stroll into work. They were like, what is that? And I didn't tell anybody anything. Wow. And I just took my class And that was about 6 months of my time. I took my class and then I quit.
Do you want to share what school you went to? Was it a makeup school?
It's no longer, it's no longer here. It's now it's called Empire. But when I went, it was LIBS, learning something. It was on 34th Street, right next, literally like on the same block as the Empire State Building.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe it's still there. But
I'm familiar with Empire Beauty School.
Yeah, it's like Empire Beauty. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got a training, a certification in makeup artistry?
I got that was 20 years ago. That was the first certificate that you could get when it came to professional makeup. That was the very first class.
I had a helpful spreadsheet where all of the vocational trade schools live, but what I did want to do is just point you in the right direction of the New York State Education Department Bureau of Proprietary School Supervision. So you can go to their website. There'll be a link to that on the resource page. Go ahead and click choosing a school. It'll give you some information about that. Find a licensed school. You're going to click school as your search criteria and then the county. So let's just go to Manhattan, New York County, and we'll press search. And then they will give you all the schools in New York, right? So American Academy of Pet Grooming. I neglected to mention that pet grooming is can be a lucrative business, especially with the pets in New York City. So yeah, you can just go ahead and check that out and do some more research on your own. I know I gave you a lot of information, but information is how we make an informed choice. Transitioning from high school to adulthood, it's a process, it's a journey, and Liberated Success is here to go on the journey with you. So what's really important is that the takeaways from this is that there are a lot of resources. You've got to do your Googles. You've got to provide the kids with experiences so that this information is softly put in front of their face so that they have enough information and the language and the tools to make a liberated career choice. So they have the language and the tools to have conversations with their guidance counselor. One conversation with a guidance counselor can steer a young person's, life. And it can go either way, right? It can go for the great and it can go not really great. And it can also affect their economics. So this is all about us having the information. So like I said, Liberated Success, we are here to take this career journey with you. So right now we are offering families our career counseling services, and there's a link on the resource page for you to grab a time for you to be able to meet with me for a free consultation. Our career counseling services the sessions are $75 per session, but when you schedule your consultation, please mention that you met me through Share Ed Talent, and you will receive $25 off for your first 2 sessions. Also, we are offering 2 free webinars in October about careers in New York City government. Now, I know that New York City government is talking about layoffs and furloughs, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't get the information so that we have the tools for when we get on the other side of this pandemic. Now, we're going to have our friends from DCAS who will come on, and they're going to do this 2-part webinar explaining the internships that New York City government provides, fellowships, how to apply for exams, and then we're going to also have a panel discussion with people who have moved up the ranks of New York City government and civil service jobs. And this New York City civil service jobs is a great place for young people who are not sure what they want to do. They have a lot of entry-level positions. So this is a good opportunity for us to get our young people in the pipeline. Okay. Let's see what else we got going on. Please subscribe to our newsletter so you can have all of our updates. And also, if you're wondering where did I get all these fabulous people to share their career journey with us, I host a show called Career Exploration Saturday on YouTube, where I have real conversations with real people about real jobs. So there's a link for that as well, and please subscribe to the channel. I think that it's very important for young people to understand the process, the journey, and for us to share what we've learned along the way and to give young people advice. So it's just a collection of stories. By the time this airs, we will be at probably around episode 15. So I'm really super excited about this. And listen, reach out if you have any questions. I'm here to help. And we're building community. So welcome to the Liberated Success community. Thank you for watching. We're going to save ourselves. We're going to wear our masks. We're going to wash our hands. We're going to physically distance, and all Black Lives Matter.